Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
We are live, Mr.
Good
Harvey.
morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ted and Ed TV show, The Money Connection. Man, the word is not exciting, Ed. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sort of kind of like, it's so much stuff out there, man. It's just like crazy. I mean, we want to try to inform you guys on what's going on so that you can be up to date on it. Because, Ed, we got some topics here, man, that is crazy. And I'm just going to run down a few, and I hope we can cover all of them. We're going to talk about the U.S.-China trade, the passport problem, the North Korea problem, the Russian problem. We got the Iran and alien problems. Come on. Ed, I'm telling you, I mean, the real hot topic for me today is, and I'm going to start this off, the 9/11 problem. Now, what that's involved in, you got all of these Caucasians, as they call them, calling people up, calling the police up on petty stuff. I read an article the other day. It was a couple in Georgia at the subway, just got off vacation, had some like 8 kids and parents and an auntie. And they were sitting in the subway and, they was getting water, going to the bathroom, back and forth. And the girl called 911 on them, thinking that she was going to get robbed. Thankful, the police were nice and told the young lady, to be calm. And her excuse is that she had just gotten robbed not long ago and she was scared. What is the problem, man? You got people calling 9/11 on black men barbecuing. You got people calling 9/11 because I'm in the pool and I have my socks on, and it's against the rules to play have socks on, but it's also against the rule to have hats on in the pool. He didn't call the police on the people that had hats on in the pool, but he called the police on him because he had socks on. I'm just trying to get the grasp of all of this because, see, they know that, you get some of these police officers, man, and they arrest these people just for nothing. Petty stuff. You had a little boy that was mowing the lawn, 10, 11, 12, 13, I don't know, and he's mowing the lawn in the neighborhood, and they called the police on him. And they arrested the boy. Okay, I got my, okay. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. I mean, some of these police officers are getting fired on the spot. These employees are getting fired on the spot. But, they fire them and then they might just ship them somewhere else. They still got a job. They just get another location. And, they just doing it to say, this subway thing, they fired the girl or whatever, but the point is, and the subway president apologized and what have you, but this thing called racism is real. I mean, and when I say racism, everybody that's a different nationality or you want to call them Caucasian or whatever, they're not racist. We know that. But It's an academic now. It's too many people as being affected by this.
Well, it seems to me, Ted, that this thing all starts out from our leader. A lot of our people here in this country get their cue from what's going on top. And they did a survey last week, a week before last, about racism. Is the president a racist? And there were 51% of the people that they surveyed said that he was a racist, which is the highest number of people and stuff who thought that a president and stuff was racist that they ever had. So when you see your leader saying that racism is okay and that he is not being disciplined, I guess, or maybe people or his the people around him tell him and say, "Hey, man, you need to stop this because this is creating some problems and everything." He's just going along and saying, "Hey, anything he wants to say." A case in point, look at that rally and stuff in Montana he had. Man, that was, if anybody out there who have a chance to see that and everything live or recorded the version of what the heck he said and what he was doing there on that stage, it is just unbelievable the amount of racism and stuff that came out of his mouth, and the audience and stuff and everything was just eating it up. I was just flabbergasted that in this day and age that there are still people and stuff out there. I mean, huge audience and stuff that's following this this racist stuff that he is putting down. So it's just something that's going on and stuff now. He's doing it, so hey, what's wrong with other people and stuff doing it also? It's fashionable to be racist and everything now. You're not gonna get in any trouble calling in the police, calling 911 on these people, and nobody's gonna say anything to you about it. Now, a few people have lost their jobs and stuff because of what they did, but all of them are not. But it's I guess it's a form of oppression and stuff in this country that we're having right now. It's something that that's why I was smiling about it, because that's who we are right now.
Well, yeah, that's who we are. So let's move on. I mean, because there's really nothing we can do about it but write letters and complain, because I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it, and it's ridiculous because we are American citizens and we should be able to go where we want to go, do what we want to do, as long as we are behaving ourselves just like everybody else. So,
well, it's for some people and stuff that they abuse people and stuff is a good thing, because like the little boy you talked about, who was mowing the lawn. Man, this kid got there were people, man, who donated money to him all the way from people outside the country and everything, sent him money. They called him up. He's almost a celebrity right now. There are folks and stuff asking him to come mow their lawns and stuff in a foreign country. So you can come over here and mow my lawn. It's unbelievable what happened to this young boy. He has enough money now that he can go to school, everything. I think they brought in something like $150,000-$200,000 and stuff and everything that came to him, that was given to him because of what that lady had done to him. So I think a lot of that stuff and everything is backfiring on some of these people and stuff who are doing this stuff and everything. They're creating an atmosphere and stuff where people are more sympathetic and stuff and everything toward the plight and stuff of these folks and stuff who are being oppressed and everything. So it's a mess out there. But there's another thing going on out there. I don't know if you saw the video, but it seemed like it's going viral, where this guy and stuff at this restaurant, he snatched the hat, Make America Great Again, off of one of the customers there, and he threw a drink on this kid.
What?
Yeah. they play it on television and stuff at least 3 or 4 times and stuff on the news show. He's jumping on these people and stuff who have these hats on that says America First. And I guess one of the patrons and stuff who was there with the guy who had the hat on had his phone out, and he took a video and stuff of the worker and stuff there at the restaurant snatching the guy's hat off his head and throwing a drink on him.
Well,
this guy is going. I really don't want to be in this guy's shoes and everything, because they're talking about pressing charges on this guy and stuff who did this. I don't know. It's.
I don't know. To me, people can be what they want. If they want to be racist, they can be racist as long as they don't mess with me. That's. I mean, racism is a disease. Prejudice is a disease, as far as I'm concerned. We should all, in the words of Rodney King, learn how to get along.
Let's all get along.
Let's all get along.
Let's all get along.
Hey, if you don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me. That's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But if I go into a restaurant, I expect to be treated in a decent manner, have decent food, and what have you. If I go to the movies or this and that, because I'm not going to mess with you. I'm not going to talk to you, unless you talk to me, and I'll speak to you. And if you don't want to speak back, that's fine.
Now,
I've been around white people all my life.
Remember what you just said, Ted. Remember what you just said, because we got a topic coming up later on in the show and everything that you need to revert back to what you just said. So go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Let's go on.
All right, let's move on. All right. Our next one is let's change the subject. Let's go international, because we got some serious problems, bro. We got serious problems with the Paris Accord. We got serious problems with the U.S.-China trade problem. We got problems in North Korea problem. But I want to touch on this to inform people what they're doing now. There's a passport problem. If you owe taxes to the U.S., they are going to deny you to renew your passport. So if you don't have your taxes paid, you're not going to get a passport. If you want to get out of the country, you're not going to get a passport. I'm sorry.
So now, are you talking about personal taxes or corporate taxes?
If you owe taxes, as far as I'm concerned, it's personal taxes. I don't know about corporate taxes, but personal taxes, if you are owe back taxes, you have to have those paid up before they give you a passport. You cannot leave the country.
Well, that's not going to bother me because I don't owe any taxes, but
yeah, me neither. Thank God for that.
Yeah,
and
well, I guess that's each one of these cabinet level agencies and stuff and everything are creating their own little messes out there. You got all these cabinet leaders and stuff out there, and they are in control of their departments. And you look at all those departments out there. We're going to be talking about the EPA. There's
the HUD problem.
Secretary of State. There's the HUD problem. There's all of these people and stuff are in charge of these different agencies. You're talking about Homeland Security, man. They got a mess going on there.
Oh, man.
Well, each one of those departments and stuff that Trump has installed it seems like they're like an offspring of him.
Yes.
Or the more chaos that they create, the more Trump loves them.
Oh, yeah.
So all of these things that you're talking about and everything that we're going to be talking about, everything goes from Trump as being the head, and then all of his little organizational down chart folks and everything, they are enacting problems and stuff for people and stuff up under their control. And the more problems that they're causing, the more Trump loves it. If you don't cause any problems, he don't love you.
That's right. Absolutely. You know what? That makes total sense, because when you think about it, It like he always loved to cause distraction or chaos so he can be in the news and people talking about him. He doesn't care whether it's good or bad, and he claims that he doesn't get the good information. But I'll tell you some good information that has happened. I'm gonna give you this one. The one thing that he has, whether he did it or the corporations did it, but in the black unemployment was at one time almost 18% in 2009. President Obama came in there and it went down to about 7.5%. And it steadily has been going down since 2016. And it went down as low as 5.9, but right now it's back up to 6.5 under President Trump. So now that's one good thing that I can say, that under his presidency, black unemployment has went down roughly at one time almost 2%. So now why it went back up, I don't know. I mean, you have to go into details and look at what happened or whatever. Maybe it was a seasonal or whatever. But the bottom line is that since President Obama has been president, he cut that bad fella more than half. So, a lot of people say, well, he ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing for me. He ain't done nothing for blah, blah, blah. No, he worked on making sure that if you want to work, you can get you a job. It might have not been $25 an hour, $20 an hour, but you get you a job.
That's the point. That is the point that I was just going to make and everything.
Oh yeah,
Employment going down, but the types of employment that they have doesn't pay you a living wage.
There you go.
It doesn't pay a living wage. So those numbers are very, very deceiving and stuff there when you start looking at them and everything, that even though they are going down, there's plenty of jobs out there for people, but the jobs that they have and stuff do not pay. Most of them don't even pay $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And you find a lot of states, a lot of cities, and even listed the federal government and everything, they are fighting that minimum $15 an hour wage and everything. And you can't raise a family of four and stuff on $15 an hour. So $7 an hour jobs and stuff is not saying very much. So, and then it's probably also deceiving because a lot of those people and stuff there who are unemployed and stuff and everything aren't going out there looking for jobs now. They're probably underemployed.
Yeah. That's right.
They're underemployed. So, man, well, even though their number looks good, there's still some things out there that we need to deal with, and that's trying to get that minimum wage raised up. And that's something and stuff that we need to probably talk about to bring up to our candidates and stuff. We're running for office and stuff now. Hey, what is your platform and stuff on unemployment and stuff, and the wages that people and stuff are being paid.
Like you just said, unemployment, unemployment might be great, but the wages are not livable. And especially in this during time. And, I did an article quite a few months ago.
Yeah.
Talking about deflation and inflation and, what the dollar is really worth. And right now, the dollar is worth about 25 cents or less, compared to 30, 40 years ago, and, if you was making back then, I can remember right out of high school, man, I got me a factory job and I think I made $3,500 or $4,000 or something that year. And, oh man, I was able to get me a 3-year-old car. I bought me about 4 or 5 suits. I mean, I was like living large, bruh. Money was money then. You know what I'm saying?
But you were single. You didn't have any children, and Bev wasn't around.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the point is that A person that's 18, 19 years old, they got to make 34, 35, 30, $40,000 a year. Who's going to pay an 18-year-old making $40,000 a year unless you got a trade? So what do you have to do? You go to McDonald's, you go to Walmart, and you get these minimum wage jobs. And because there are no factory jobs now. And if you don't have experience in these factory jobs or some kind of training, they're not going to hire you. Unless they got an OJT, on the job training program. And then you still got to work for less than what you're supposed to be being paid until you prove yourself. And then that might take a year or two, what they call apprenticeship. So,
absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, it's rough for any young kid, but especially Black kids, and, I mean, I don't know what to say. If you don't go straight to college and able to, afford college and live the life of a college student and work part-time and go to school and what have you, and learn a trade. And maybe when you get out of college, you got the right subject matter. If you studying the right thing to get a job, then, a lot of people are walking out making, $50,000, $75,000.
Unless you're a teacher.
Yeah, right. If
you're a teacher, you don't make anything when you start out.
You'd be lucky if you make $35,000 a year as your first teaching gig. That's why they go on and get their master's, and then at least they'll make a few $1,000s more starting out. Then that means another expense. You got another loan or something you got to pay for, because it's not going to be free. Getting that master's.
Student debt loans and stuff. Yeah, that's a big thing out there. Oh, and Ted, what you were talking about Iran and Russia and stuff. But what was those things that you wanted to bring up here on the telecast of this morning?
Well, Iran is, in my opinion, they have. Oh man, they got really basically almost billions of oil reserves, of gallons of oil reserves, and really we were getting like 2 million gallons of barrels of oil from them practically a day. And now because of the sanctions and the problems that's going on with that, that's why our gas prices are going up. And that's why you heard 45 go over there and beg and call the Arabs to pump more oil so that the gas prices can go down, because that's eating up everybody's pocket. It costs me almost $50 now to fill up my tank. Yeah, that's when it was down, I paid $35. Now you just keep adding that up a year.
but Ted, you forget 45 now gave you a tax cut.
He gave somebody else a tax cut.
He gave you a tax cut so you can pay for that gas.
I didn't get no tax cut.
You didn't get no tax cut? Oh, okay. Well, he said he gave some people a tax cut.
I didn't get no money. I didn't get nobody. I didn't get nobody. So somebody else is taking advantage of that.
Well, yeah, it's probably gone now because the gas price is going up. But anyway, Iran, I guess some people forget that 45 pulled himself out of the Iran deal that they had going on for that nuclear proliferation agreement that they had signed with them. And because he had pulled out of it and said he wasn't going to get involved with it, he opened the door for a lot of the things that are happening and stuff with these oil prices, because Iran, according to that deal and stuff and everything, they could go out and do what they want to do. But now they're telling them that they're going to stop them from getting from doing anything at all. So because Trump pulled out of it, he has created a mass of confusion and stuff out there with our allies and with Iran. And they don't know what to do. And I don't blame them for not pumping 2.5 million barrels of oil a day if they don't know if they're going to ever get their money and stuff back from that oil. But so far and stuff, Iran has really changed how they're looking out there in the world and stuff. Their country and stuff is improving. People in the country and stuff are starting to make money, and they're starting to build, and they're in their country and everything, and it's made their prime minister, their leader and stuff and everything very popular there. But now because Trump has pulled out of this daggone thing, he's it's going to be difficult for Iran to be able to make money and for their people and stuff. And if your people are happy inside your country, things are going to go well for everybody. But if your people are unhappy, then it creates problems and stuff inside your country. So, we're going through that same thing. A lot of people in this country are not unhappy, so things aren't going very well. So the things happen to foreign countries. And I think that when Trump pulled out of that Iranian deal, he created a lot of problems and stuff, and he doesn't realize the problems that he has created because he did that. Because there's nothing else that's sitting out there, and your allies are sitting there thinking about, well, what should we do now? He's pulled out of this thing. These sanctions and stuff that we have on Iran going to hold, or if this agreement's going to fall apart, what? So he stirred the pot and then walked away and act like he didn't do anything at all.
that's 45 for you.
Yeah, then when it causes problems extraneously and stuff and everything, things that at the time was not associated with that problem. Now he looks at it and everything and tells the OPEC nation, "You all pump some more oil," and they're looking at him and say, "What? you just told Iran that you're gonna do something to them, and they're part of our OPEC nation, and now you telling us to pump oil? What's wrong with you? You got to be out of your mind."
Oh man, I don't know what to say. Hey, but the thing is though, Ed, it's mass confusion because the one thing that what I found out, U.S. and China, this trade war that's going on. You had mentioned it earlier, but I got a little something for you. In 2017, the U.S. trade deficit with China was $375 billion. The U.S. exported to China $130 billion. The U.S. imported from China $560 billion. Now, China relies, in order for them to survive, they rely on exporting all kinds of goods and products that they make. And with the help of a lot of other countries that invest a lot of manufacturing companies over there, they just have the employees, cheap labor. So these people ship all of these goods and stuff over here. And the big whoop-de-doo, and this is stuff been going on for many, many, many years. They've always had, shipped more products over here than they bought because they don't have a lot of money. A lot of people over there don't have a lot of money. They don't make a lot of money because of their political situation. So, but the United States is upset because they won't allow us to get over there and sell a lot of products. I guess China doesn't want his people to be consumers. Enjoy the little things of life. Like having your own personal phone and having a giant screen TV and having all the little toys that people play with and all that kind of stuff, and buying cars, that kind of thing. So That's a big problem. And right now, we got a trade war not only going on with China, we got a trade war going on with our allies, Canada, and other countries that right now, over there in Europe, we got trade wars now going on over there now. So I don't know what's going to come of it. I don't know.
Okay, let's start with China. You mentioned about that $375 billion deficit and stuff, the trade deficit that we have here in this country. Now, 45 has came along and said, well, we're going to increase the tariffs and stuff and everything on some of our goods and stuff to China and to other countries. Well, when you look at the trade deficit and stuff, Ted, you have to understand and stuff why we have that deficit. Why are we buying all of these products and stuff from China? We are buying these products and stuff from China because they're cheap.
Yep.
When your populace is only making $7 an hour, why buy American goods and stuff when they cost more? You can't afford it, so you're gonna buy China stuff. China is shipping in all kinds of stuff. You look around, especially in our community, the urban community, Ted, which we are the biggest consuming portion of this country ever. We consume more, and our money is spent and stuff. Like as soon as we get it, we put it in our hands. It lasts about 10 seconds. It goes out. And if you look at what's going on and stuff in our neighborhoods and stuff, you're going to see a lot of these stores and stuff. You got the dollar store, you got Dollar General, you got a lot of other stores and stuff around. Even Walmart and stuff now are buying goods from China because they're cheap.
Yep.
And they can sell that stuff. So when you start looking at that trade deficit and everything, Trump looks at it as, well, we're going to increase our tariffs. Well, if you turn around and you give the American people and stuff more money, they can be able to go out and buy these products and stuff and everything that Americans and stuff make. Make America great again should have said buy America again instead of make America great. If you buying American and stuff and everything, then you're going to be able to draw that deficit and stuff down. It's not going to come down very fast, but it will come down. And you have to be patient and stuff with it. You don't turn around $375 billion trade deficit in 2 or 3 months or a year. You slowly turn it around. And China is very, very good at manipulating trade and everything and stuff along those lines. Now, we talk about Canada, Mexico, and NAFTA. When Clinton enacted NAFTA and everything, people were very upset with him. Especially a lot of the unions and stuff, they were awfully pissed off at him. But Clinton saw, he had a vision and stuff there that opened up the trade borders and stuff with Canada and Mexico with the United States. And they have become huge trading partners. And now all of a sudden, 45 comes along and says, you're going to get rid of NAFTA because it's no good. Now, if you're going to get rid of something, have something to replace it with. You don't sit down there and call the Prime Minister of Canada a name, or go down there in Mexico and treat them like dirt and everything and tell them that they got to pay for a wall to wall off your country against theirs and expect them to be good trading partners.
Right.
So we have a problem with the mentality of what's going on there at the top. And until we find at least some of the department heads and stuff down there to say, hey, man, this stuff that you're doing is creating us problems and stuff. If you want to solve these problems and stay and become electable again in 2020, you need to have a plan. You can't go around and piss in this corner over here on people and expect them to treat you right. You can't do that. It's not viable. So, we have to have an idea. And that goes back to our politicians and stuff coming up in 2018 and stuff. You can't continue to fight Trump and everything and say you against him without having a plan of what you are planning on doing when you get to there. What are you going to do when you get to Congress? Let us know. And if you can't tell people, who do we know who to vote for?
Hey, look here. You just went into something that I really want you to talk about. The democracy problem, or the Democrat problem, I should call it, because what you just said was absolutely correct. However, no one is really stepping up to the plate because, see, we all know what 45 is doing. He playing these little games with all of these other nations. So if they call him up and they, and treat him like he's Mr. King, he gonna say, okay, well, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna drop those tariffs off of your products. But what you gonna do for me? You gonna let me build a Trump Tower over there, or you gonna let my daughter get some different kinds of deals over there and that kind of thing? So it's all about him, really. I mean, he's using the government for his own enrichment where he can make money. And he's working the deals that kind of way because he's threatening these companies that were really working deals with America and what have you, and certain people was making money. The small guy here in America, the so-called middle class and working class is not making the money, haven't been making money for the last 30 years, really, real money. But the bottom line is that he is the one say, hey, I'm going to get the brunt of the money. And how he's going to do that is that he, just like he made a deal with that STE, whatever that company was, and China said, okay, you're gonna help us out. And what did they do? Jerry got $500 million or whatever it was. And so that's what he's doing. And so he's playing Monopoly. That's all he's doing is playing Monopoly.
Yeah,
And you're right, but the Democrats do not have a fight. They don't have a bone. They don't have nothing. Anytime they come against their own, like Maxine Waters calling her un-American, telling her that she spoke out of turn when 45 is calling everybody else but a child of God. Now, so there you go.
Well, let's get to that one thing you talk about the democracy and what's going on and stuff there. I'm very concerned and stuff now that since we're within about 4 months of the midterm election,
yeah,
and so far we are not seeing anything that's coming out of the Democratic base and stuff. We talked about this earlier before the telecast came on, how Tom Perez, who was the DNC chair, gets out and he's starting talking, and now he's finding out that he's getting more and more opposition from within his own party about what he is trying to do and what's going on there. He's had over a year and a half now to start building a coalition and stuff there within their party. And from what we've seen so far, he's not done a good job. But we, as the populace and stuff out there, we have to understand and stuff that instead of fighting Trump and everything, you got to come with your folks with a plan. When Trump won in 2016 and everything, he kept telling people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to make America great again. He had a platform. Even though it was screwed up, he had a platform telling people what they wanted to hear, telling these people about racism. And he got to the heart of that racist portion and stuff of this country, that it's still alive and it's still breathing and stuff here in this country, even though we've elected a black president and he's had 2 terms and stuff there. Obama had a platform. He talked about what he wanted to do and things he wanted to build and how he wanted to do this. Well, if you got a candidate running for office and they can't tell you, or they can't get their word out to the populace and stuff with what they're doing, then why am I going to vote for you? I'm not going to be energized to vote for you if you don't have a platform.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You can't just, your only thing be to fight Trump. It can't be that way.
That's because the people that are in office, most of them, not all of them, are for themselves. You know, when you're being treated like royalty, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is accept money, and the lobbyists come in and they say, well, this is what we need, Mr. So-and so, or Congressman so-and-so, or Senator so-and-so. And this is a good idea, and this will help, blah, blah, blah. Here's $50,000 for your campaign. Why don't you go ahead on and let this happen for us, or make a bill, or we'll write up a bill for you, And so they sit there and they're not really for the people. Why you think that guy, the fourth person in line, and he was thinking about taking over Pelosi's job, and that Latino lady, I don't know if she was Puerto Rican or what, but she won because she knocked on doors and told people what she was going to do. And she's a progressive. I mean, she is basically really a socialist.
Well, let's not put a
label on her.
A label on her.
Okay,
socialist,
that's fine.
because that socialist label and stuff and everything have been put on her by the media out there. She's a socialist, and they keep on putting it down there. They put her name as a socialist. Well, if we don't put a name on her as a socialist, then she won't be a socialist. She'll be a liberal. She'll be a progressive. But when you start labeling people and stuff and everything, then everybody starts looking at that, and you cause other people and stuff not to do something, just like you are afraid of being a socialist and everything. Well, we don't know if this lady is a socialist or not. Somebody labeled her a socialist because of some of her ideas, because they follow along with Bernie Sanders' method and stuff of talking to people about what needs to be done and stuff to make this country and stuff better. So we need to look at her and stuff, and look at her platform, what she's talking about, and then decide if she's a socialist or not.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree. So she has evidently, like you said, she has gotten her message and stuff out there to the people and stuff who are the voters and stuff within her district.
Door to door.
Door to
She
door.
went out to the people.
And that's what all of our candidates, and that's what Tom Perez and all the other people at the top and everything need to start enacting. If we're going to get the Congress back, if we're going to be able to work and stuff and build up a strong democratic organization and stuff and everything, then you have to start making sure that your candidates and stuff, instead of asking me and you and everybody else for, give me $3, give me $10. I need some money. We need some money because this
money,
and
money, money. That's all they want.
Money.
I ain't sending them a dime.
Not one Quaker as Ed sent them. And so until they show me that they're about the business and stuff, really going out there and dealing with the people and everything, because you ain't gonna beat these Republicans with money.
No.
You ain't gonna hit. That's man, your platform. Money.
Man, the Koch brothers, man, and already they already set aside a couple of $100 million or more. They got so many programs out there. The Alex program, they got all kind of things going on, man, spending money to get these people in office for what they envision what this country should be about. And they are really doing it too. I mean, they are changing the landscapes of this country. They don't want anybody to have, in my opinion, they don't want to have anybody on Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, anything, as far as I'm concerned. They want just, because what they are libertarians, and they want to be pure libertarians. I believe in a lot of the things that the libertarians on their platform, a lot of the stuff that they do. However, at the same time, you can't ostracize poor people that's down on their luck, or even the working class. Unless you're going to pay people money, meritocracy is a great thing. If I work hard and blah, 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 But I'm sorry, this country is based on, it's too racist, man. I go in there and I got just as much talent as this guy and work just as hard as him. They're gonna pay him maybe $25,000 more because of the color of his skin, not because of unless I'm exceptional. Now, if a black person is exceptional and got so many top skill levels and everything else, he's gonna be kicked up to the top. But if you're talking about equal, or I'm a little bit better, that is not gonna happen for a black person.
Yeah.
So that libertarian crap don't work, bro.
Yeah.
That's why we have laws and civil laws and all of that kind of stuff. That's why we have all of that, because it don't work.
Well, let's go back to talk about Auntie. I know you said something about her and how even her Democratic leaders and stuff are treating her, as far as her opinion and how she has gotten up on that bully pulpit there that she has and asked her constituents or people out there and stuff who follow her that they should, anytime they see something that's injustice happening, and they need to speak up. They need to tell people and stuff about that. I believe that Pelosi and Schumer overreacted and stuff to that whole thing. They spoke before they really understood what was going on, because they can't control her.
Right.
She's a loose cannon out there and stuff, as far as they're concerned and stuff, with their trying to get their Democratic majority back. So in their minds and stuff, they're thinking that if we rouse up these Republicans and stuff and everything, that they're going to come out in masses to vote and everything, and we can't get our people out to vote. Well, they're thinking very little of their populace, and they are not very in touch and stuff with what's going on outside their swampland of Washington, D.C., and what people and that stuff and actually out there thinking. And until you get out there and understand and stuff what people are thinking, you can't sit there and tell someone that what they're doing and stuff is wrong. Because as they saw and stuff, once they came forth and with their rhetoric and stuff about Maxine Waters, there was an uproar and stuff and everything against them. They had these 300 and some black women, well, now 500 and some very, very, very strong black women and stuff out there who have a lot of influence and stuff in this country, wrote both of them a letter and told them, hey, what are you doing bothering her? And so now Pelosi came back and wrote them a letter and stuff, and she didn't apologize, but she kind of told them and stuff that, hey, we okay and stuff with it. Maxine is a strong person within our coalition and everything, and we love her and all this other stuff and everything, but they did not apologize. And I really don't believe that they still understand and stuff what Maxine Waters and stuff is doing, right, and how to use her to make themselves stronger.
That's right.
Because what they are doing and stuff now is what happened in 2016. If we look back into 2016, because you have to look back in history if you want to look forward and stuff in the future. I'm looking back to 2016, 2 years ago, around about this time, when the news media and stuff and everything had all this stuff going on and stuff about Hillary and stuff and what the heck was happening and how she did and how she did and how she did. Well, most of the people and stuff out there who they were expecting to vote, eventually by the time it came to going to the polls in November, did not go and vote for her.
That's right.
Because they had so much other stuff going on. They were putting out things about Black Lives Matter and how Hillary, going back into 1990, when she said in the public eye, you need to curb them dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those words and stuff and everything that they found and stuff way back there and everything created a big problem and stuff in the Black community with Black Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah.
And they never got out and addressed it and really understood and stuff what those words and stuff meant to their voters. So in consequence, we got Trump and stuff because of what the heck went on. Pelosi and Schumer and stuff should realize and stuff now, you cannot alienate your black voters. They are the ones and stuff who are voting for you guys 90-some%. Anytime a Democratic candidate goes out there, black folks are voting for them at 90-some% level.
And they're going to have to bring it.
And so you're going to have to deal with Maxine Waters and stuff in an intelligent manner.
Absolutely.
And use what she is saying and stuff and everything to help your electorate win in November. She has a very, very, very powerful backing out there. And you can't sit there and call her un-American and think that you're going to get those people and stuff out there to vote for your candidates. So
that's right.
They better watch out.
Well, see, the thing is, the Democratic Party, when we swung over, because most of us were really Republicans before we switched over. And we know that history. But the bottom line is that the Democrats have sort of kind of used us and not really dealt with the real issues in the black community for a long time. And they just been giving us pennies and nickels. That's it. And it's a sad thing because we, as a people, we should be so much further than what we are. I ain't talking about all these great, they always use Oprah and Michael Jordan and all that kind of mess. But the point is, there's so many great black people in this country that has persevered and overcome so many obstacles, which they shouldn't have to overcome any obstacles to be great. And you look at these people and they realize, they know that they're not investing in the black community. They know it. They sit up there and you're talking about the school system, you're talking about the employment system, you're talking about health system and all that. And the thing is, how many lives of these Democrats have allowed to be destroyed because so many black males and now females they're putting in jail in droves. And you realize that they have destroyed so many fabulous people are smart. There are a lot of black people out there, man, that are so smart if they would have gotten the opportunity. Starting in elementary school. These people going to raggedy schools, people that don't care about you in the schoolhouse and what have you, and they pouring money in there, but the money is going to the administrators, man. It really does start in education. It starts with education. And they're not being fair to the black community. They have not been fair to the black community. They've been giving money to in the black schools, but you look at any county. I look at just this county in Hillsborough County. These people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they're not putting any money invested in the kids. They don't have any after school programs, all of that. So anyway, I'm off that ticket.
Yeah. Well, yes, all that stuff that you just talked about and stuff, Ted, goes back to what Maxine is trying to get people and stuff out there to do, black folks in her community at least and stuff out there to do. You need to speak up, and we can't sit there and let the white folks tell us to shut up.
Yeah.
You can't shut up. You can't shut us up. We have to open our mouths and stuff. And if we want our politicians to do what we need them to do, we have to open our mouths up and say what the heck we need and what we want. And also realize and stuff at the same time and stuff that not only the politicians part of the problem, we ourselves are part of the problem. We have to take responsibility and stuff for our actions or our interactions within our community, because there is no sense and stuff, Ted, in our major cities and stuff or whatever. Look at Chicago, even Tampa, or whatever else. Our black on black crime and stuff and everything is just horrible. And those things and stuff in our community and stuff really causes a lot of problems and stuff from having monies and stuff being invested and stuff into what we and stuff are doing. Now, most of us and stuff like you and I, we moved outside of that. We don't go back into the hood anymore and everything, into the urban areas. We are out in the suburbs and stuff and got our nice homes and where we live at and everything. And we start looking down upon those and stuff who don't. But eventually, we're going to have to get out. If we want to improve our own community, we're going to have to get into that community and start dealing with what the heck is going on and stuff there.
Well, Ed, let me just say this, and I really believe this. Education is true, but it also starts with diet and water. Good water, man. This water, that is no joke, bro. It's not a joke, man. Water is contaminated in every one of these cities, man. And these children are drinking this water and destroying their brain. You talking about crime? The reason why is because a lot of them now are mentally deficient. I'm serious. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's not their problem. But the problem is that, man, we sitting up here drinking, if drinking water that is really literally just diseasing you, and it's meant and it can. You remember the lead problem when we was coming up in the 60s and 70s, and they said what it would do to you.
And
then they start the paint, and they start stripping that stuff. Man, we don't even know what kind of damage it did to us when we were coming up, man. Because, man, my grandmother used to have a great big old apartment complex, and I used to go there and make $10 a room to paint, and I breathed that crap for days. So what I'm trying to tell you is, man, is that it's the diet, it's the water. A lot of it is caused by that, and of course, survival. A lot of people, trying to survive. They're selling drugs, they're selling guns, they prostituting, they're doing. Some of them, not all black folks, but it's a lot of them that's doing that to survive, because that's all they knew and that's all they see. A lot of them. So anyway, I'm gonna get off that soap opera.
Well, I really think, Ted, that to clarify stuff what you're talking about, because when you hit me with that water thing, all of a sudden I'm looking at it, what the heck is he talking about? What the heck the water got to do? But that is a offset and stuff of some of the other problems and stuff that we are having and stuff in our community and stuff, because all of our services and stuff are deficient and stuff.
Yes.
We have everything that we have are deficient. All of our stuff that we take for granted and stuff are inefficient. We don't have good electrical grids. We don't have internet access and stuff in our communities and stuff out there. And these things and stuff are
They talk about food deserts.
Yeah.
People have to go.
And the cost of food
in
your neighborhood, and the cost of food in your neighborhood. We have a myriad of problems and stuff in there, and that water is only the one thing. If that thing did not happen with Flint, Michigan, they created a mess there in Flint, Michigan by giving these kids and stuff and everything, their drinking water and everything is full of lead. High levels of lead. Now, they have starting to correct the problem, but what damage has it done to those children? We don't know. What are the long-term damage and stuff that's happening with these kids? Are they going to be mentally deficient and stuff and everything down the road, where they're going to be able to just get maybe a high school education and then they can't go to college and stuff because their mental capabilities were destroyed and stuff when they were drinking this bad water? We don't know. So it is we have a major problem down there. Until we get down there and get back into our community and
Taxation without representation. That's all I got to say about that. I'm telling you, man, you know, we've been paying, you know, a lot of people have been paying taxes for years and years and years, paying income tax, so all kinds of stuff. And they have not reinvested in our community. They invested in the suburbs now, but they have not invested in our community. And that's why a lot of us got the heck out.
Yes, we did, Ted. But if we want to get things better and stuff, we're going to have to get back in there and start dealing with them, because, like you said, we are getting the benefits of those things. You know, I look at my streets and stuff around here where I live at, man. If I get a pothole in my street, man, somebody's going to be fixing that son of a gun within a month. It's going to be filled, it's going to be fixed. But you drive into the Black communities and stuff, man, those streets are so bad. It's just unbelievable. It's horrible.
Taxation without representation. That's all I got to say about that, man. I'm gonna repeat that again, because see, they think that everybody that lives in the hood is on welfare and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody that lives, as they call it, the hood, you know, Black community. The bottom line is, it's so many people that's making good money, have a good life. They prefer to live around Black people, and they're doing things, great things, and what have you. But, you know, I mean, really, man, I just couldn't take it, because I don't, you know, you had too many people that was, wasn't about nothing. I'm just gonna put it like that. And then the ones that are about something, they're too cliquish. You know, they think they're better than other people. They ain't better than no poor people just because that person might not have an education or a college degree or whatever. You know, they're not no better. You know, I mean, you know, everybody, college is not for everybody.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right about that. It's not real for everybody. But
And I had to work hard for my C+, my 2.5.
And you spoke upon that when you started talking about trade schools, going out there and picking yourself up a trade that's going to be valuable and stuff down there. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a master carpenter to build something and everything. Yes. There's nothing wrong with being a master electrician and stuff that's going to do something. There's nothing wrong with a plumber, because everybody got to have plumbing in their home. They're going to have electricity in their home, and they're going to have somebody to build the walls and remodel and do all the other stuff and everything. They are being paid very, very, very well.
Nothing wrong with being a truck driver, skilled truck driver or a bus driver, all of that. That's part of living. But like I said.
And there's a big shortage and stuff said since you started talking about that for truck drivers and bus drivers and stuff now in this country.
Oh, that's going AI, bro. That's going AI. Okay. It's going AI, bro. Hey, it's gonna be self-driving buses and diesels and everything.
Oh, Ted, we're about at the end of our show here, man. We are reaching toward this hour mark here and everything. But I want to say one other thing that we talked about and stuff that we want to bring up, and that's what Elliot Pruitt, our EPA administrator that's resigned yesterday, day before yesterday, he resigned from his office as the EPA administrator. He's been a huge thorn and stuff into the side and stuff. One of the things that we're talking about, clean water. He had clean and toxic cleanups and stuff around this country, you know, climate change and all that stuff. He has almost destroyed all the things and stuff that the Obama and even Bush and all the rest of the presidents and stuff behind them and stuff have created and stuff and everything to make sure that our environment is clean and that people are protected and stuff from these manufacturers and stuff, the ones who are still here in this country, who are dumping toxic waste and stuff into our streams and into the ground and doing all these bad things and stuff to our environment and stuff that we need to protect. And he has came in and took a Swiss knife to all those regulations. So he's gone now, but the effects and stuff of what he has done and everything is going to be.
The guy they just put in there now, man, is going to be even worse. He's going to be even worse, Ed. Just keep an eye on him. Okay. I can't remember his name, but you know, I've been reading about him. He's going to be worse.
Oh, you may be worse, huh? Well,
I don't know.
I don't know if anybody can be worse than Elliot Pruitt.
He's going to be worse. Let me tell you.
Well, okay. Well, anyway,
I hate the
we at the end of stuff now. So
all right.
I want to let everybody know that we're going to be doing this at least twice a week now. And Mr. Harvey,
I said I want to do 6 days a week, man. Come on,
6 days a week. And I'm wondering in my own mind and stuff, can we do this here and there?
Well, we can do it if we have some advertisers, some backing, you know, because this stuff, you know, it gets a little expensive with equipment and what have you. So if anybody, you know, that's out there to know any advertisers might be interested in supporting us, you know, or whatever, you know, hey, bring it on. Because we'll definitely, you know, spend, you know, 30 seconds or a minute talking about your company. Absolutely. Or, you know, whatever. But yeah, it don't take a whole lot of money. But the point is that we love what we're doing. You know, we like to talk about it. We just two elderly gentlemen that
you just speak for yourself.
Hey, I'm old. I admit it. Hey, I'm not as handsome as I used to be. That's why I like to don't even show my face. So I just like, you know, talking about different subject matters and what have you. I enjoy it.
I do too. I really enjoy letting everybody know what's going on and stuff out there, because, you know, most of the people out there do not have the time to really go out there and investigate what's going on.
It's too much. It's too much.
Too much. So we'll talk to you guys on our next broadcast. Hopefully it'll be Wednesday. And I'm waiting on Mr. Harvey to come to me with a plan for the 6-day telecast here. So as soon as he comes to me with a good plan and
I'm working on
it, stuff, then we're going to do this. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday and talk to you later, Ted. Bye bye.
What you trying to do? Spent the night just trying to find you. You the hottest one under the sun, and I'm under your spell. We stuck just like glue. You ain't got the free crib, oh well. You and me can head to the hotel. Whatever we do, just don't tell. I don't need anybody all on my coattail. I feel your energy and I ain't trying to fight it. Your vibe is way too exciting. I know I'm who you wanna ride with. Don't fake it, I know that you like it.
It's more than just emotions. I get more emotions. All you gotta do is focus, not what you used to, but you like it. But you like it. Ooh, yeah. I've been out here looking for you. You're something special, man.
Get up on my roller coaster, get inside my aeroplane. I can take you places, baby, places you ain't